Nothing can really fill the whole of Attack on Titan. It's a story that's captivated a global audience, leading to hundreds of fan theories on its many metaphors, themes, myths, characters, and more across the web, allowing fans to feel a deep connection with characters and their stories that parallel real tragedies in history. Many anime like to use war, racism, and giant mecha-like beings within their works, but few are able to do so as well as Isayama has done with Shingeki no Kyojin. However, there is one possible anime that parallels the greatness that is Attack on Titan, and that is the story of 86. Welcome anime friends, my name is Phoenix, and today we will be diving into the world of 86 and how similar and different it is from Attack on Titan and why you should watch it. Before we begin though, make sure to grab your cup because it's time to spill the anime tea. Boop. Quick disclaimer that there will be no major spoilers for 86 in this video. There will be some spoilers for Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 2, but if you want to get more in-depth breakdown on 86 and its world building and its character details, I made a whole more in-depth video that you can watch by clicking this up here. Let's start by explaining what 86 is. So 86 follows two different perspectives. The first perspective is of a squadron of people known as 86 who are fighting on the front lines of a war against unmanned AI drones. And the second is of a major hidden deep within safety who communicates with the squadron and is in charge of handling them. Lena, the naive handler, who is fully against using humans to fight wars on behalf of the Republic, tries her best to try to remind the military that there are real people fighting out in those wars. However, she finds it difficult when the people of the Republic already have considered the 86 to be nothing more than animals that they use as fodder to fight their war, and B, she herself realizes that it's not as easy to try to change, racism and the discrimination against the 86, especially without coming to terms with her own part to play within it. While Shin, who is the leader of the Spirit Squadron on the front lines and is also known as the Undertaker, has to battle with his own concepts of protecting the memories of all of his comrades who have fallen, who he has fought alongside, of being possibly the last person to stand and protect their memories, and of course, finding his own reasons to fight in battle. So what is similar to Attack on Titan with 86? The first thing that came to mind when I thought of this video was how similar the characters and the side characters are in 86 and Attack on Titan. Not in the types of characters that they are, but in how much attention and detail they are given. Attack on Titan is steeped with side characters that are given a lot of screen time and that end up being very important to the story as a whole. Each character connecting with each other in a mix of cross threads across time, oceans, life, and even in death. But most importantly, their stories allow us to really understand them and their character and the world as a whole. Though the side characters in 86 are not as intricately connected as they are in Attack on Titan, they're either given a lot of screen time and a lot of depth, or they are just given very minute details that really help us understand them as three-dimensional characters. The audience really is able to root for or cry for these characters that once existed because they feel so real. Of course, another great part of Attack on Titan and 86 is how well they're able to use war and their stories to create something really compelling and interesting. Attack on Titan is known to use war to talk about the parallels between both sides of those who are fighting. How you can't necessarily choose sides and how things are never quite as easy as good or evil, black or white, and seeing the motivations for each of those sides. In 86, the emphasis on war is less on the parallels of fighting and the different sides that are in battle and more on the internal conflict of the Alba and the 86. Morally, it's easy to see that the Alba probably aren't that good since they are using the 86 to fight battles for them for no other reason but for the fact that they do not look like them. But it also speaks to something deeper when it comes to war, like the fact that people are able to easily ignore war or the battles or the things that are happening in the world as long as they have a distance from them. That basically it's a privilege to be able to ignore the tragedies of war until that war comes to your front door. And you have no choice but to confront it. Before I talk about what's different in 86 than Attack on Titan, that's pretty important, let's talk about how you should be liking this video if you're enjoying it so far. And, liking it helps to spread it out to more people who love Attack on Titan and need something else to watch in this time when we have to wait almost a year for the next final part to come out. One thing that came to mind to me when I thought of the main differences between Attack on Titan and 86 is the romance aspect. Now, the romance isn't huge in 86, and the romance aspect isn't that huge in Attack on Titan really either, I believe. But I do believe that 86 does a slightly better job of showing romance than in Attack on Titan, which is fine because Attack on Titan has a lot of other great aspects about it. It really doesn't need to focus on romance, but it still seems to be an important part to the story. What sucks about the romance in Attack on Titan, specifically between the main characters, Eren and Mikasa, is that it mostly seems to be one-sided. It seems that Mikasa likes Eren, but it's not so much the other way around. So it seems. It could be totally different. We don't know. But in 86, there's a very subtle relationship between the two main characters that builds slowly over time. The characters are not together, like physically not together. Like they can't even see each other. They are only talking to each other over a audio device. So seeing how the characters grow independently and become themselves and really struggle on their own and try and figure themselves out is important, and it leads to some great tension throughout the series and some really awesome ending scenes. So yeah, that's a point for 86 above Attack on Titan. Now let's flip it and talk about a point for Attack on Titan above 86. 86 is full with character dialogue, which makes sense because characters are talking a lot. Of course, they have to talk a lot though, because in the first part specifically, the only communication that Lena, the handler, has with the Spearhead Squadron and Shin is through an audio device connecting their ear and connecting to their brains. So the only real connection that the characters can build with each other is through talking. So it makes sense why there's so much dialogue in 86. But on top of that, there's also a lot of internal dialogue with the characters, with the audience being able to hear their thoughts, what bothers them, what they struggle with, and what they are trying to figure out, which is fine. For the most part, it can be a little too talky, where in some parts it can just be shown through their actions or what they do and don't do, rather than what they actually say, which is the case in Attack on Titan, where most of the characters, we don't really hear the motivations of a lot of the characters in Attack on Titan because we don't have time, because there are too many characters. So instead, they just show certain actions or moments or scenes or emotions from the characters, and we are able to understand kind of what turmoils or what things they're going through based off of that. The only character we really listened to the thoughts of was Eren, at least before, season 4. And the only episode I think that is actually a more recent episode in the end of season 4, part 2, is this episode where all the characters are actually talking and airing out their grievances to one another, which is probably one of the first times I actually hear the characters just really talking about all the things that bother them. Whereas before, it was just shown. It's just glimpses of images, of memories and things that acted as their motivations. Again, neither is bad. Both are good representations of showing characters and how they are feeling. It's just that one does it with more dialogue-heavy context, and the other one does it by just showing it more often. Now, the biggest difference to me between Attack on Titan and 86, the most notable to me, is the difference between the motivations of the main characters for doing what they decide to do. Basically, in Attack on Titan, we know that Eren, at first, he was just trying to find his freedom. He was just trying to get out of the walls and experience the world and really understand everything that was happening outside of the walls. Until we got to season 3, 4, where he is now trying to destroy everyone outside of the walls. And his motivations seem to be only rooted in the fact that he wants to protect his friends. But again, we can't see into his mind anymore, so we're just going based off of memories and images and things that they show us. I mean, it's debatable and up to personal opinion if Eren's motivations for destroying the entire world are relatable and personable. But yeah, when it comes to 86, at least we have some more clear lines than that. With Shin's story specifically, his actions feel a lot more personal and individualized. He's not trying to fight the entire world. He's not even really trying to fight. He's trying to protect an image of the memories of his friends and that of his brother, as well as other images and other events that come up in the story. It just feels very human to see a character who just struggles to try to live up to someone that they cared about, or who is just trying to find their way in a situation where it's hard to even continue to survive. The same can be said for Lena, who is another main character of 86, who struggles to try to come to terms with the fact that she has a part to play in the discrimination against the 86 and has to figure out a way to overcome her own shortcomings and be a better person, be the person that she actually wants to be the person who can fight alongside these people that she has come to know. Basically, this was just a short little introduction to 86, talking about the differences between them and Attack on Titan and why it's worth watching. If you want a more deep dive look into 86, including spoilers and reasons why the story just feels so real and how they use memories to create fantastic character backstories and things like that, I made a whole huge other video over here that you can watch. It's pretty awesome. I worked really hard on it, so please go check that out. Again, my name is Phoenix. This has been the Anime Tea. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Hi, kitty. That basically it's a privilege to be able to ignore the tragedies of war